Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Saturday, the 28th of February, last day, right? So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, I thought I'd talk to you guys about what's been going on, and then I had some questions that maybe you guys might have answers to as I was watching a video on the new STIHLs that are out there. Stay tuned. Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, if you didn't already know it. And yes, this is the weekend. The weekday is Monday through Friday, where we talk about business and repairs. On the weekends, kind of do what I want. Most often, I've been concentrating on ways to help you guys, become more profitable and stay in business longer. Longevity is a big thing, right? So I thought I'd talk today a little bit about what's going on so you guys get the backdrop. Is that my family has enjoyed 4 months of my wife doing very well without any psych meds. And she went into crisis 3 days ago. So I've been up there already, calls back and forth. So it's been a bit stressful. And you guys have been part of the channel from the get-go also know that I had a quadruple heart bypass and with lack of oxygen to the brain for 7 minutes, and then thinking that it was a lost cause. Let's bring it to the here and present. The here and present is that I still have severe anxiety issues that I'm dealing with, thought processes, and PTSD. Okay, and the problem with when things are going good, it's manageable, okay? But when things start getting hectic and stressful, it seems to intensify what's going on. So if I look a little rattled in some of the videos, that's why. Because I'll lose my train of thought, I'm trying to think ahead of what I'm saying, and that gets to be a problem. All right, enough about me. I was watching a video this morning. The guy seems like he's very knowledgeable when it comes to the STIHL chainsaws, okay? And he has a shop. And let me point out the things that had me scratching my head was he didn't do any compression checks on any of them. He started with the brake band, the drum, and started throwing parts at it without doing what we try to teach here, and that's that 4-point objective. Is you start with compression, and if you got good compression, then you go to fire, and if you got good fire, is the fuel any good? And take a look at the air breather. It's not to say that there aren't going to be maybe a broken fuel line or a primer bulb or this or that that's causing you havoc, but it's every step is telling you that much more about the piece of equipment. And I watched him as he threw all these new parts onto this STIHL chainsaw. And then towards the end, he found out that the crankcase was busted on the handle side. So it was kind of a basket case at that point, unless he wanted to get a whole new unit. This is what I talk about on the channel, is don't be a parts replacer. Start where you need to start and work your way through it. Now, if you did compression, fire, fuel, and air, and then you went to the rewind, and then you found that the crankcase was busted, that's where you stop, right, until you talk to the customer. Because, he even put it all back together and it ran great, and he sawed quite a bit of wood with it. But if it's broke, you got to fix it, right, to be safe. And I wouldn't send that saw out as safe with the broken handle, with the crankcase broken. But overall, I thought he did a good video. The thing that impressed me the most, and maybe you guys might have seen this. I haven't. The saw was a STIHL 500i. And actually all three of them were. But he had some way of telling how many hours that had run, how many pulls that it had, how many primer ball pushes that it had, how many times it was shut off at the switch, how many times it wasn't shut off at the switch, and when was the best RPMs coming off that saw of how many hours. That is awesome. I mean, if there's a way to tell me how many hours are on a unit, I mean, yes, it's a moot point if you're fixing the saw anyways. But if you start approaching 5,000 hours, you've got a pretty good run on that saw, right? You know, if you're in the woods and you're making money with chainsaws, okay, whether you're logging, firewood, what have you, I always figured how many hours has that saw run? And if I knew how many hours the saw had run, you could divide that into what you paid for the saw, and that's how much it cost you per hour for that saw. And most loggers will take and they'll buy a couple of them. One is their primary, the other is their backup. I used to carry 3 in the truck, and I would use one today, the second one tomorrow, and the third one the next day. Why did I do that? Well, one is I don't care how good you are at falling trees, you're going to pinch a bar once in a while. It's going to turn, twist, what have you. So that's why I have the secondary saw to unpinch the first one, all right? The other thing is if the first one is having issues, then the second one I'll use that day and work on the first one at home. But most loggers have got 2, okay? There are 2 main saws. And then I also find that most of us that are in that profession or we're in that profession have a tendency of having 3 or 4 or 5 or a half dozen part saws that we put a lot of hours on, and finally it was wore out. But there were certain parts on it that were reusable if we needed it on the one that we were using, right? How does that work? Where does that plug in, and what kind of a reader do you need? And is STIHL the only one doing that? You guys probably know more than me because I'm not seeing the bigger saws that the loggers have. Most of those guys are fixing their own. So, at least in this area. Because, you know, maybe the 500i, it's got to have a port that you plug in to get all those readings that he got. And that would be pretty neat if all of us could be able to do that, you know, when it comes to repairs. Does it change the outcome or change how we do things when it comes to approaching that saw? No. You always start with compression. And then you go to fire, and then he had mentioned that all 3 were not here for a running issue. It was a noise issue. And every one of them had a bad clutch, had a bad, you know, spur sprocket and rim sprocket, and those things wear out. The one thing I haven't seen much in the logging industry is loggers with worn out clutches. They usually have 3 or 4, I did anyways, 3 or 4 brand new ones in the package, in the toolbox, in the back of the truck. You know, the bearings, the clutch, the rim sprocket, the spur sprocket, whatever the saw had or I was using, we always had spare parts. That never went to the shop because of a clutch problem. We just popped it apart, threw the new parts on it, and continued on. And that's one of the things that, you know, I used to check on a regular basis. You know, about once a week I put air to everything, get it all cleaned up, look for any issues, and replace the parts that need to be replaced. So the fact that he saw 3 and all 3 had the same issue, and I could tell that these saws were not being taken care of. They weren't getting the love that they should, okay? And one of the things that I see a lot, and he was showing in his video, was a lot of dirt in the fuel tank. And that, even for you novice guys that are doing it here and there, I used to carry a thick bristled paintbrush, not a very big one, just enough so I could brush everything off around where the oil and the fuel went in. Because it could be detrimental either direction, right? If it's in the fuel, you could have a filter plug up, or worse yet, get into the carburetor and raise havoc. If you've got it in the oil and you've got chips, sawdust, and that stuff, it can plug the oiler. You can ruin a bar and chain in a hurry if you're not paying attention. You see what I'm saying? So preventative, to me, was always top priority. It's cheaper to prevent something than it is to throw parts at it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I haven't been in the AKA logging business in over 35 years. That tells you how old I am. I still am in the firewood business for ourselves, for the shop. So my saws aren't seeing the run times that it used to see. Right now, mine are on vacation. They've got the winter off, right? But right now, we're getting my 2240 John Deere finished up so we can get the skin witch on. And I'm going to start falling trees on what we call the 109 acre parcel and start skidding firewood out to the landing that I have set up. And I've got a apprentice loader. Yeah. I bought it in an auction a couple of years back. She's a little, disjointed, but it will lift any log that I can bring out. So if I bring them out, I can grab it with the apprentice loader and stack the trees as I'm bringing them out. And the way I do it is I try to get the trees on the ground before they start budding and having leaves. It's a pain in the ass. So I'll take it, I'll fall it, brush off the limbs that, aren't big enough to make firewood, because I take it right down to about that big. And leave all the brush in the woods and bring the tree all the way out. And most of the trees that I'll be skidding out with that tractor are probably 6 to 10 inches in diameter. So not a very big tree. Most of it is we call hardack or ironwood. And I find that burns good, and it will keep a nice bed of coal for in the morning when you show up. This year we kind of got caught, with my health issues and stuff. So I ended up cutting a lot of the dead stuff so we'd have dry stuff to burn, which was dead elm. It saves us quite a bit of money just having the wood stove out in the main workshop area where Claude is. And we have it so that the blower, we've got 2 blowers on it. One blower is blowing into that area, and then the other blower is blowing into the upper part where I am. And then we also had the propane furnace that kicks on and takes over if the heat doesn't stay above 50. I know 50 degrees is freezing in a shop, but I'm like 3 layers anyways. But when I get home and I strip down to my sweatshirt and sweatpants, I like it right around 68 to 70. So in the comments, have you guys been seeing these saws where you can plug them in and get all that information on the saw itself? I think it's pretty neat. And it sounds like it's been around, but I haven't seen it. So on that note, you guys have a great Saturday. Today, Claude and I are moving a tractor into the shop because it was too cold. The girl wouldn't start yesterday. And we'll see what goes on and whether I have to take an hour and a half drive up country to see what's going on with my wife. They put her in the hospital last night, so we'll see where that goes. On that note, you guys have a great Saturday.